Today is Thursday, March the 21st, and this was a unexpectedly high day in the market, particularly for Apple that gained $7.19 to a gain of 3.8%. So let's just take a quick run through in the charts. Looking at the S&P 500, this 78.6 retracement from the previous high back to the previous high had resistance here, March the 4th, March the 12th, March the 13th, had support March the 20th, and just took off today. So the 78.6% now has been exceeded and come back and been tested, and should be now on its way to eventually hitting 29.31, where there's going to be a massive lot of sellers. And we can see on the weekly Ichimoku that we've been talking about, we now have, after several resistances on the 50 moving average back here for the Chiku span, we finally broken over it. So our next stop would be the Chiku span hitting, I don't think it's going to be as sensitive to the 8-day moving average. I think it's not going to be affected by that one. It's going to get some resistance, with these candles right here. And that's going to cause price to fall down. When it hits that new high, there's going to be sellers there. The Chiku span is going to tell us if it can break through this wall of candles that we've got, additional space to run. Apple was just beautiful today. Yes, selling puts has been very, very good. But right now, in retrospect, you wish you were holding onto the stock. But frankly, I've been using the money that I don't have invested in the stock to invest in other products. And I'm just selling the puts and paying the margin on what I'm using there, paying for the margin I'm using there. We've had the Apple break into the cloud quite substantially on the daily basis. We are heading up to this gap right here that I mentioned in a tweet this morning. So this gap back here from November the 10th is going to be the next level of resistance, 197.76. And we know that in looking at previous gaps with Apple, it always stops and plays for quite a long period of time before breaking through into an existing gap area. And let's make sure we have that gap drawn well now. So yes, we do. So there's the top of the gap. There's the top of the gap right there. And it's 197.31. So we'll take our alert and we'll bring it up to that area right there. That's what our target is. The next we want to look at is Caterpillar. We fell below this trend line, but we didn't make a new low, which would have been below here. If we're going to come back and test the cloud, it looks like cloud testing will now be above this value, so it's not going to invalidate our move to complete a Gartley pattern to go up to 149.52. That's the target there. Big day for the market and a reasonable day for gold. Doesn't always happen. Let's look at the Chiku span. And the Chiku span broke out in this area here, came back under the candles, under the candles. It's now broken up above the candles again. So we've still got an opportunity for the gold miners to run on the daily chart. And we can see where are we right now in the weekly chart. We have the Chiku span getting resistance by the cloud. This pullback, this level right here on today's price was exactly the cloud. So the Chiku span did hit the weekly cloud today and pulled back this much. So that's the one to watch. For Caterpillar to keep marching toward, or for gold miners to keep moving up, we've got to get the Chiku span to break into that cloud, because the last time it hit the cloud, it was clearly rejected. Intel, I said that I would be a buyer above 54.70, and I was. I bought another 300 shares, so I doubled my amount, and I have one more buy, and it'll be either 200 or 300 shares. And it'll be somewhere between 54.70 and 57.03. I think if we have another good, strong day tomorrow, I will finish up buying and then hold till 57.03. WDC had a pretty reasonable day, but you can see that it's just slowly chugging away. I mean, pretty good day, but it's still waiting for news on China tariffs and so on. But we look at the Chiku span, and we've got good support coming from the candles. So on a daily basis, we're breaking away. On a weekly basis, the Chiku span still has resistance around here. So price resistance next week would be at 57.70, or this week would be at 56.63. Next week resistance will be at 58.37. Hope you're enjoying working with Ichimoku. I certainly am.